New
And
environment.
Napoleon Hill, one of my favorite authors, he beautifully stated, he said, nature forces upon the minds of men the influences of their environment.
Mm.
So my environment started influencing me heavily. So I was like, yo, you know what? I need to start speaking English differently. I remember one time I was in school, I was talking to, it was like a few black people in the school. So I was talking to one of the only black people in the school. And we were talking about like lifting weights and whatever, because we were playing football. And I was like, man, shut up, nigga, you weak as hell. And she was like, you weak? It's your, Y-O-U apostrophe R-E. And I was just like, bitch. Like, I was just like, what the fuck? That's how colloquialism, where we're
Right,
from,
right,
this is our
right.
vernacular.
Right,
You like
right.
this shit because you listen to our music all the time.
Right.
You and your mom, I'm sure, right? But it was this white
So
girl,
you and your
blonde hair,
mom.
blue eye, that just speaks so proper, right? But then she was coming from me, and I was mad as hell
Mm.
because like everyone in the class was like kikiing and shit, and I was just like, it wasn't even that funny, one. And two, I'm just like, okay, bet. So I was like, noted. So they judge my intelligence based off of how I speak. I was like, okay, so I got to start changing it up. And I was like, I can speak like y'all if I want to. I speak multiple languages. Y'all don't. Y'all limited to one language that has been de-emphasized. And it's just like, you don't even speak a good language. Like, it's like your language is lame as
Oh, I
hell.
love it.
Right? So I took it personal, right? And I went home, I told my dad. My dad is like, yeah, whatever. It's just don't pay attention to it, whatever. But I remember like that moment. And obviously, when you get embarrassed as a kid, you're just like, damn, it stick with
Stick
you.
with you,
And then
yeah.
I just started changing from there. Then I started reading more because I never picked up a book ever in my life to like read for what? Like it's just not fun. And like all the
Yeah,
books
when it
that
comes to articulation, that's a part of this channel too. Is I want to fix, not wanted. I want and still am fixing the way I speak. Like sometimes you guys might hear me say like I just had a comment recently that said, "Oh, try taking like out of your vocabulary." I guess I said it too much in one of the videos. It's like to me in my head, and I just said it again. In my head, I like that comment simply because I am trying to fix my speech. And I've said this in a video like way back. This video is to help me articulate myself and kind of get my tonality, my tonality, the way I flow with my words, the way it just helps me overall get out my sentences. You guys could even see like certain pauses that I have. It's so I can get my thoughts out, because usually I'm thinking fast and I'm saying these words so fast that I have to kind of find my flow. Otherwise, I'll start tripping over my words and start tripping over my thoughts. So I definitely like that he took that criticism from what that girl said and is now applying it to him, or has applied it to himself. If you guys don't know who Da Vinci is, he's an actor, by the way. I didn't mention that, but Da Vinci's an actor. I've been following Da Vinci's journey since like 2019, maybe 2020, I would say 2019, 2018 probably. Like, cause he's Haitian, I'm Haitian. Like, I found him and he's an actor, and to me, he's been very good at articulating his thoughts, and he's proud to be a Haitian American, and the way he represents himself, I really like.
they make you read in school, it's not books that is very like encouraging to a child. So I started actually reading self-help books like my senior year. And I started going through those things, and I was like, and through reading that, I remember I read something that was like, they said, if you want to hide something from a black man, put it in a book.
Put in a book,
So I just
absolutely.
kept reading. And as I was reading, I was just like, whoa, like all these things is making me a better man, a better person. So that's what started changing my trajectory. I wanted to be a better human being. And thank God, shout out. And the girl name was Megan. I ain't gonna say her last name because I was like, cause she's still around.
Okay.
I don't know her anymore, but she sparked that in me, and I started reading, I started educating myself, and then, and I'm studying the Warren Buffetts, the guys that drop out of school and things like that. Not saying that there's anything wrong with school. I think school is a great place. I went to college, I did all that stuff, but Warren Buffett, he said, formal education will make you a living, but self-education will make you a fortune. And I was like, okay, let me listen to this white man. So boom, taking notes, reading more books, reading more books, reading more books. And in doing that, I was just like, a light bulb went off, and I was like, okay, I understand. If I had a different access to life, I probably would have never been in entertainment. But because of the cards that I was dealt, so sports, I play sports, very athletic here and there, but I never stuck with sports long enough to want to be good. And honestly, no disrespect for people who play sports, I just don't care about it. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm good at sports. I can shoot. I can dunk a ball. I can run really fast. I jump over things. But to me, it's like, it's like for what? Like, I'm just not gonna do that. And then I'm gonna try to encourage every other kid to do what less than 0% of the population could ever attain. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing that. And I couldn't at that point. I was like, you know what? I'm 17 now, in college. I'm like, I could get on and play Division I, do D2, but it's like, to make it in the NBA, I'm like, nah. But then I was like, okay, so what else do I have? So I'm looking at my hand, I'm
what
like...
you guys are noticing him, what he's talking about is that process of elimination that I constantly go over. Like, you have to figure out what's your foundation. In order to build your foundation, you have to find who you are. In order to find out who you are, you have to try a whole bunch of different things. And that's exactly what he's saying he did in college. That's exactly what I said I was doing in college. Right after school, you gotta educate yourself outside of school too. You know what I'm saying? Like, what he was saying even before the whole, him, doing sports and kind of figuring himself out that way, he was self-educating himself. And that's because it's like, when you're trying out a whole bunch of different things, you also have to be conscious, wow, my words, conscious that you're doing that in the first place, so you don't get lost, as well as self-educate even outside of that, because you want to grow your mind. That MBS that I keep talking about, MBS, mind, body, soul, all this, like, that mind aspect has to get treated. And this is all towards building your foundation, so that you can go and move in rooms confidently and talk confidently about, who you are as a person. First you got to affect the mind and educate yourself. He said he was reading books. That's literally everything he said is exactly what I was doing. And that's kind of why I wanted to even show this video, is because, like, it works. It works. It works. And this stuff I had to figure out alone, kind of being an outsider in a way. It's like reading those books, self-educating, and you're like, whoa. Like, you start to realize all these secrets that are in these books. Like, it's in the books. Like, all these people who do interviews, they kind of keep it to themselves for the most part. But when they write a book, they get to spilling the beans, man. And then now he's saying, outside of the books, outside of educating himself, outside of school, he went to basketball, trying different things, trying different sports. He's eliminating the mistresses, as Alex Hormozi once said. Eliminate the mistresses, eliminate the distractions by simplifying and refining what you like. And then minimize it to, like, at least 2 things, 3 things max, I'd say.
I'm great at music. And I'm good at acting. I always knew the arts. I started off in life, violin was my first instrument. I played the trumpet, played the drums, I played the piano.
Beautiful.
It's like, I'm currently...
How did you learn how to do all of that?
In school. So in elementary school.
Really?
Yeah. So elementary school, when I was up north, it's like, they was like, hey, you got to pick something or whatever. And I was just like, nah, just do the violin. It's like you kind of had to, but which was great. Because, like, in learning how to read music, all that stuff, it's very helpful for the mind. So it was good. And then, of course, I stopped doing that when I went through puberty. It was like, yo, sports is it, right? But,
no, I got you, but I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions on that, because you said a few things.
Right, I was going just...
Yeah, but I love it, and my apologies for interrupting your flow. A couple of things that you have in there that I just think are phenomenal that I want to pull out for the audience. So one, this interaction with Megan, I think a lot of times we can run into a Megan, and when we leave that situation, we end up feeling like we are less. What I love that it sounds like you did was you ran into that moment and you didn't allow it to invalidate who you were. In fact, it just made you stronger. Your response was, no, I can speak your language and 3, 4, 5 other languages, right? As opposed to allowing her to make you feel like you were less than only because you were speaking in a dialect that was not perfect English,
to
right?
them.
Yeah, exactly,
absolutely.
to them, right? The other thing that I love that you keep saying is, I believe at some point in time, you have to take ownership for your own education. I talk about this notion that you have to school yourself.
Absolutely.
And so even while you're in school, you begin to school yourself, right? Finding books. I love that you brought up this notion that they say that the best way to keep things from a Black man is to put it in a book. If you were to recommend 1 to 3 books that you think everybody should read that kind of helped you on your path, what books would those be?
Okay. I want you guys to check out this whole entire interview. I'm going to be breaking down this interview probably in like 3 to 4 different videos. Hopefully I don't get a copyright strike. So if y'all don't see more videos after this one, it's probably because I've been getting copyrights or something like that. But I doubt it. But nonetheless, what he said about schooling yourself outside of school is like that. I cannot stress how important it is to do that. Because a lot of people, they just go to school and they come home and they think it's leisure time. And I don't know, something about that just felt wrong to do. Even now, it feels wrong to do. And I'm not in school. Or some people go to work and then they come home and then, flick on the game and like think, oh, because you went to work, you went to work. No, like, just because you went to work does not mean you went to work. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of people are passively at their job. They're just at their job and they just shut off their brain and just do the work and then come back home. That's when they finally turn on their brain, but they're turning on their brain to Zelda or, Call of Duty. They're not turning on their brain to a better future for themselves and their future family, current family, current spouse, whatever. So overall, I think, educating yourself and really taking that time to school yourself outside of school and outside of things that you're doing currently is definitely important. Reading books is definitely important. But it's just not promoted. It's not promoted as much. But Da Vinci has a lot of great wisdom, a lot of great words that he's spoken this entire interview. And man, I'm definitely happy to see a Haitian brother like him in interviews and spaces like this, because usually if a person is Haitian that's in an interview like this, you would not know. You would never know. They would never say it. They would, they kind of almost forget their nationality. And it's definitely a breath of fresh air to see a Haitian American who's not a rapper, who's sitting down, articulating himself well, and is poised and educated. And I'm not talking about school educated, like school-wise, I'm talking about self-educated and just overall balance. Like, he just seems so balanced, present. So shout out to Vinci, man. Hopefully, God willing, I meet Da Vinci one day, simply because I feel like we have a lot in common, and I really, I really want to make the same changes that he wants to make. I don't know him entirely. I don't know him at all. I'm just going by the interview and past interviews I've seen of him. But it's definitely inspiring to see. So, yeah. Let me know what you guys think of this video. Big KMF, because we keep moving forward, playing No Games all 2024. We are locked in. I post every single day. So hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button if you're new. Thank you guys for watching. I'm out. Peace.